As we've looked at previously, the marketing mix has 4 Ps: product, place, price, and promotion. This video will focus a little bit on product. Now, there's 4 elements that we have to look at when we look at product in the marketing mix, and this video is going to focus on 2. The first of which is the product lifecycle, and the second of which is product development. Now, the product lifecycle is best illustrated by this chart here. And the product lifecycle shows the journey in terms of sales that a product goes on throughout its lifetime. So on the x-axis of this chart, we have time. And as we move right, this indicates time passing. Now, the product lifecycle for some businesses may last 3 or 4 years. It may last 6 months. It could be ongoing for a long period of time. But the idea is that as we move right in the graph, the product is being released to customers for a longer amount of time. And on the y-axis here, we have sales, and that's just the level of sales revenue that that product is generating. So the higher on the graph that the line is, the higher the sales are. The lower on the graph that the line is, the lower the sales are at that point in the product life cycle. Now, there's 5 stages. We have research and development, introduction, growth, maturity, and decline. And we're going to look at these one by one, look at the sales level at each of these elements or each of these stages of the product life cycle, as well as explain why that level of sales may be occurring. So the first stage every product goes through is a little bit of research and development. So we're going to do market research to find out what our customers want, and we're going to do some product development to try and come up with a product idea that meets our customers' wants and needs. At this stage, because the product hasn't been released yet, we're generating no sales whatsoever. And in fact, the business is actually making quite a large loss because they're investing a lot of money in that market research, in the product development, perhaps even in some marketing activities to let customers know they're releasing a new product. All those things cost money, but they're making 0 sales, so the business is making a loss in the research and development phase. However, once the product has been researched and developed, we can then release it onto the market and enter the introduction phase of the product lifecycle. Now, this product is brand new to the market. Customers may not be fully aware of what it is or that it exists or what that product does. And even if they are aware of it, they may not have full confidence in it yet because they don't know many people that have that product. So as a result, we see sales are quite low. They're low, but they start to rise a little bit over time. The reason for that, again, is just the customers aren't really sure what the product does. In the introductory phase, businesses are often still making a loss because sales are quite low and they're investing a lot of money in promotion, a lot of money in advertising to get the word out about their product and what it does. They're doing a lot of informational advertising so that people know what their product does. So making a loss because sales are low and there's a lot of cost that goes into advertising. Following the introductory phase, we move on to the growth phase and we can start to see sales increasing quite a lot. At this point, customers are more aware of the product. Perhaps some friends have bought it or some influencers have bought it. It's maybe getting good reviews, and so they start to know what the product does. They start to be interested in what the product can do and if they want it. And as a result, we see sales starting to increase. At this point, the business breaks even and maybe even makes a little bit of profit because there's still quite a lot of advertising going on. We're doing a lot of persuasive advertising, so customers know about it, but we're trying to persuade them to actually buy it. But sales are starting to increase, so we're now breaking even, maybe even making a little bit of profit at the growth phase. Moving on from the growth phase, we then reach the maturity phase, and this is where sales will reach their peak. Sales will be at their highest point. Customers are aware of what the product does. It's got a good reputation. Perhaps a brand is established, a bit of renown, and as a result, lots of customers are buying the product and sales are at their highest point. This is obviously a really good thing for the business. This is where they generate most of the profits when their product is in the maturity phase. However, because of that maturity phase, some other businesses have started to recognize that there's a lot of profit to be made in this product, and so what happens is competing businesses start to release their own version of the product, which starts to lead to this decline phase at the end. This is where sales start to fall because perhaps new businesses are entering the market with new products, or there's updated versions of the products that is better and has more features, and so people are no longer buying this product. Sales start to fall and the business may have to take it off the shelves because of that. So sales are starting to fall. The business may still be profitable because it's not investing too much money in it at this stage. It recognises it's declining and is just taking the money from the sales that it can get before it perhaps withdraws it from the shelves. So product life cycle, research and development phase, no sales whatsoever as we figure out which product we want to release. Introductory phase, sales are low because customers aren't certain what the product is and what it does. Growth, sales start to increase as more customers become aware of the product. Maturity, sales reach their highest point as the product and brand is now well known. Decline, sales start to fall as better products enter the market. That's the product life cycle. We do, however, have to look at this research and development aspect of the product life cycle in a little more depth. What does a business actually go through when it researches and develops a new product? How does it figure out what to release to customers? And when it does figure it out, how does it make sure the product they release is actually good? So there's 5 stages to this. The first one is market research. We're going to have to do things like surveys, questionnaires, interviews, perhaps check the internet for any research done by the government or some market reports to try and figure out what customers want. So the first thing is a little bit of market research to determine the wants of our customers. Once we have that market research and that information, we use it to get together as a marketing team, an operations team, a leadership team to try and brainstorm some ideas and come up with product ideas that will meet these wants. Step 3 is we take all these brainstormed ideas of products that will meet customer needs and we start to test a prototype. So we come out with an example of the product, a working example of the product that we can look at and play around with and show to potential customers. And that leads to step 4. We use the prototype, let customers test it out and seek some feedback. So we want to know what they like about the product and what they don't like about the product so that we can start to adjust our product based on the customer feedback. And then finally, once we've adjusted the product and we're happy with it, we're going to release it onto the market with appropriate promotion, such as perhaps discount codes to start with, or penetration pricing to start with, or it may be that we're just going to launch celebrity endorsements or really intensive TV adverts. The idea is we've released this product and we want people to know about it. So 5 stages of product development: market research to determine what people want, leaders within the organization getting together to come up with ideas to meet these wants, testing a prototype, so looking at these ideas to release, to create an example of a product that customers might want to test. We then get feedback from our customers and make adjustments to that prototype to reach a finished product, which we then release to customers with really good promotion.